Another day, another chance, another way, another dance. But today I'll be discussing to you all about what needs to be gone over in regards to in regards to like React. So the React we pretty much have pretty much an app where we're dealing with we're pretty much dealing with an app where we have a to-do list. So we pretty much have a to-do list that we need to go over, right? Where you know CRUD functionality is going to be implemented via my app Vite. So our Vite, React Vite is going to be used, right? And then yeah, that's what you're going to be making use of. So in this chapter, you created to do app using React hooks to provide functionality to create, read, update, and delete to dos. It's pretty much a to-do list in which CRUD is going to be implemented. So yeah, so now next chapter, which we'll go over, we'll then see how to connect our app to an external API to persist our data. This app will teach you fundamentals on how to build large and more complicated apps, in particular managing global state where with React apps. So that's pretty much what we have. Okay.
Okay. You didn't even introduce me in this video.
Wait, one?
So you didn't even introduce me in this video as your navigator or as your.
Now I'm going to just now. I assume you go over the summary.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna go over the summary now. Right, so yeah, that's pretty much it. But before we go ahead, I need to introduce a very special person. His name's Ernest Ekelem. Right, he's gonna be the navigator of this video. He's gonna pretty much gonna be going over the back end or the pretty much the server side of our code. That's what it's gonna be going over, the server side.
Okay.
So yeah, say hello to Ernest. He's gonna be going over everything.
Thanks for having me here.
You're welcome. Yeah.
Kabila has already introduced that in our chapter 8, we'll be working with a to-do way to-do app that has graph functionalities. We can add, delete, and edit. Okay, let's just jump straight into it. Here is my app.js. I'm importing like CSS for styling from React and importing React and reuse reducer.
Yeah.
And I'm component, and then I'm importing this vid, and so I'm going on here. This constant of to do's initialize state. So initialize global state
Yeah.
for to do's, and in this constant of initialize state, you can see it takes an object. Inside the object has an object, and then we have key values, and then we have inside. It's an object. Inside the object is an array, and then inside that array is an object that has two key value, and then it takes in the ID one, text, what text it is, ID. The ID is a number, and then text, which is basically what you want to do. And then we have a function of a to-do's reducer, which takes in state, which takes in an argument, a parameter of state and action. So basically, what this to-do reducer function does is to control the changes in the state. So we have a switch case. We have a switch case statement here,
Yeah.
which decide what to do based on the action type. So we have a case of add, which creates a new object. and then we have a constant of new to do, then ID, we will give a new to do it in an object, and we already know the formation of it's an ID and a text. And then we have a new constant of add to do's, and then it takes in a state of it takes in an array of states of to do's and new to do's, and then we return updated state of remember this is updated state from add, so we're just gonna add the ID which we can set and the text which you added in our to do in here in our add new to do. And then we have a case of delete where we remove the to do that matches the ID that we want or that we have selected. And then we have a constant of filtered to do state, which is equals to, which is just basically filter and search and get the ID. And then once it's got the ID, we can base automatically delete it using the ID. And then we return we return an updated state after deletion. And then in the case of edit, we have a constant of updated to do. And then we have a constant of updated to do index, which find the index of to do being edited, and then it will edit it by finding the index, and then through ID we have a new action payload, which replaces, and then we have this new constant of updated to do's, which replaces the old to do, and then return a new state. And then defaultly, we will return an initial state if the action type is unknown. Then we go on and we export we export the variable of to do contests, which create a context to share to do states globally. And then we have our function app, which um, use which use reducer manages to do state and updates via dispatch. So we would have a constant takes in two parameters, state and dispatch, and then we have a use reducer takes in an argument of the function of to do reducer and to do initial state, which will return a to-do context provider value, the state, and dispatch. And basically, that's our app.js. So let me run you through our component of to-do lists, which loads our lists after we, or which basically formats our app. After adding a to do, it will format our list. It will format our to do. What can I say? Values or our to do content in a list. So here, our main function to do list. We can see we've declared a lot of we've declared variables here, that checks in, that gets the global state, the global to do state and dispatch function from context. This here, which takes in initially an empty state, holds the text entered entered in the input field, and then this for the edit, the stores, and our button changes. For it's either we are editing or adding, and then we have a constant of handle delete, which runs when the form is completed, and we have an event that prevents defaults, which prevents page reload, and we have an if in our handle submit, we have an if statement on edit that takes in an argument of edit mode and update, and update an existing to do and reset. And then we also come back. We reset the state after updating. We say set edit mode to be false, and then we also set it to be unknown, and then we set it to be empty when we reset. Else we add a new to do and dispatch what type add, and after that we just click here our input field. Then we return, basically this is the form we're returning in our front end. You can see it has a placeholder of enter to do. And then this here on change targets, our value that updates our, it's either edit or our add dispatch. And then we have a button which submits, and as you can see, we have a table. We're going to see to do edit and delete, and which we've seen just in the front end, and we'll see better right now when Cabello takes us through it in the front end. Cabello,
Yes,
would you
Ernest.
like showing? Would you like showing us, how our application looks, and just demoing our application by adding a new to do, deleting, editing, and debugging it.
No, no problem, man. I wouldn't have a problem doing that. So I'm going to debug it first. So obviously the three to dos that you're seeing right now are pretty much the default ones. The ones that come with the app. So these are the default to dos. The ones that Ernest just went over. The variables that he just went over. Yeah. It's just debugging now.
Okay.
Hold on, I'm gonna unshare and wait. Hold on. Never mind. It's pending, pending. I'm gonna unshare and reshare again. I'm gonna reshare just now.
Okay.
Yeah, just loading. Okay, it's loading, it's loading. Okay, okay, it's loaded now. I'm gonna share my screen just now.
Okay. Okay.
So as you can see here, you got the default to dos. So let me add. So edit, delete. So let me add another one. So this one, and then yeah, learn React, add. So as you can see here, I pretty much had learn React and I added it now. So learn React. I'm gonna edit it. So edit, read, read, edit, read. So as you can see here, it went from learn React to read. Now I'm going to delete it, so delete it. So as you can see, it got deleted.
Okay.
Drink juice. It was a simple one. Edit it.
Okay.
Work. And then delete. So it's pretty much like CRUD functionality all in once, but using React hooks. So APIs get hooked into our app. Instead of us having to create the functionality in itself, information gets fed from like an online library, then gets hooked onto our app. So that's pretty much what we're dealing with.
Okay.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Mm. Okay, now that makes sense. Thanks for showing us the front end and debugging it.
Yeah, you're welcome, man. Okay, it's fine.
Okay. So let me introduce. So basically, in our chapter 9, summarily, we would have two servers running, and one will be our API, which we will have locally, and the other one will be our main app. In our main app, what can I say? Let me just use a front end to help me here.
Mm.
Okay. Okay. Anyways. Let me just in our main app. Okay. So with this knowledge, we can move on to build one more complicated. Okay. Hopefully you. Let's see. Okay. This summary is not helping me here. They're just summarizing the whole. So, but basically, what we're gonna have here is a to-do app. This time, we're gonna create our own API where we gonna where we gonna like store our data, locally in a JSON file, and we installed a JSON server so that we can launch that server I was talking about, because I said
Yeah,
we're gonna have two
yeah,
servers running,
right.
and one will be for our API, and then one will be our main app. And Kabedo is here and will help me with the code, with the back end, just to create an image of how our application runs.
No problem.
Kabedo.
Okay, alright, now I'm gonna share my screen just now.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, so as you can see here, so what we have here is my app fight. So come on. So in my app fight, let's get in now. Come on, app. Sorry about that. Come on. Okay. Alright, so I'm gonna go. I'm gonna reshare my screen again.